you. Hello guys.
Hi, welcome back guys. It is the middle of January and it is not a really nice day outside.
Yeah.
Lots of snow this winter, especially compared to last winter here in Mongolia.
So much snow.
A lot more snow. We want to get started on our seed growing. Last year was our very first time on our homestead growing to the quantity of things that we grew last year. We were very unsure, especially with our geothermal greenhouse here in Mongolia. Kind of when can we take things out? When will it be warm enough in the greenhouse? It was our first season, so we were very unsure exactly how much space we're going to have, how much we can put in, the best way to do it. It was very experimental.
I have no idea.
We kind of had this book that we kind of wrote down all the seeds that we planted, how much seeds we planted and things like that. It did help, and it's given us a little bit of reference to go back. I think we're going to do it a little bit better this year. We will show you a website that is for free that we're going to use this time to kind of organize our seeds a little bit better and our growing times. We've been going through exactly what we have with a couple more seeds that we still need to get, but we're going to break it up into a few different growing stages.
Like pretty much three steps.
Three kind of steps in growing. Last year, with our winter greenhouse, we were able to get things out into the greenhouse around the 25th of March.
Yes, yeah.
25th of March, we were able to plant in the ground. We could have maybe gone a week or two earlier, but we still had a lot of winter stuff there that we harvested. Then we prepared the ground and we got everything in. When you are planting seeds, normally the rule is you're looking at about a 6 to 8 week period that you want to start your seeds before you pot up and get them into the ground or the greenhouse. The biggest mistake we made last year is we started our outside garden way too early.
Yes.
I think we thought that we could get things in the ground in Mongolia in about the beginning of May. But that is not the case. Here you're looking about the 2nd of June that you can actually get things in the garden outside.
Yeah, that also depends of the year, that year.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that is kind of, the beginning of June is kind of what we're aiming for to get things in the garden outside. Last year we had a serious problem with the amount of space that we have inside to plant our seeds.
Yeah, our mistake was put everything start the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we struggled to spacing and
plus also that where we live, it's kind of cold. It's, you know, if we have all the heaters going, the ground heater, plus we make a fire, we can get it up to a warm temperature. But at nighttime, to save electricity, we turn the heaters off and it cools down. This morning when I woke up, it was 15 degrees inside the house, which is really not good for germination rate. So it is a bit of a struggle. Last year in January, I started my super hot chilies and they failed because it was too cold.
Yes.
So I've actually, 2 weeks ago, we actually started the super hots, but they are in the city at Zula's parents' place where it is nice and warm. And
the mom taking care of it.
Mom's taking care of the super hots and they have all germinated already, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I think we're going to try to plant around 3,000 seeds this season, maybe more. We want to plant a lot more, but we want to have a much bigger harvest.
Yes.
So we've broken it up. We want to start some things now in the beginning, middle of January. When those get potted up in February, we'll pot those up and we put in all the things that we're going to plant in our winter greenhouse.
Yeah.
Once those all germinate and we can pot those up, then we're going to start planting all the things that we're going to take outside and to the summer greenhouse. Besides not having enough space, we don't have enough lights.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 4 of the lights that we got last year, the white ones, they just died. And we can't really afford to buy any more lights, so we just have to use what we have at the moment.
Yeah.
One thing that we didn't do enough of last year was flowers.
That was a big mistake.
That was a big mistake, not a big mistake, but One thing we want to do definitely this year is help our pollination rate increase quite a lot. And there's nothing better than planting flowers to help that. We're going to plant flowers that are really going to help us in the garden, and that is French marigold. If you are growing things and you want to increase your chance of pollination and bring in all those pollinators like bees and things like that. Good bugs. French marigolds are the way to go. We have, I think, 8 or 9 varieties of French marigolds. Plus, we're going to plant a couple of things that come back every year.
Yes.
French marigolds are really, really great to bring in those pollinators like bees, but also they bring in the predator animals as well. Those that are going to help keep your aphid levels down a little bit better. Today we are going to start a couple of flower seeds. I think we're going to plant around 850 plants over the next day or two. We have learned quite a lot in the seeding process. There's a couple of tips and tricks that we want to share with you. Plus, we're going to have a website that we are going to keep track of our seeds, which is going to make it a lot easier. We will also be able to share that with you, and you can eventually follow along our growing season and see exactly what we are growing this year, which is going to be really, really exciting. Let's crack on, show you what we're going to plant, and get it
done.
Get it started.
This
and
this.
Yeah, that's the Flemish flowers,
And this is Flemish flowers too.
Okay.
I know with some of these you can eat them and you can use them in the kitchen. I haven't done the research on each one, which ones you can use and which ones you can't.
This one.
Yeah, of course, this one, saffron. Actually, they use this for color. So you can dye like different things. So I'm going to do some research on this, and later on when they're all growing, maybe I can use some things in the kitchen. We can do something with it. Other things that are cut and come again. We have something called cornflowers. This was just a gift. This was a gift as well. Thank you so much to one of our subscribers in Scotland. They sent us some California poppers.
Thank you.
Which is really good for our harsh climate here in Mongolia. So that should grow and come again. And then we have some Indian Crinthasons, autumn bouquets. These are also cut, grow and come again next year.
I choose that because it looks pretty.
And this one,
Flemish choosing
Aqualeague crystal. So, really exciting. We also have some sunflowers and things like that, but it's way too early to plant that. Plus, we will plant a couple of other things a bit later on. But the reason we want to go with French marigolds as well is these ones, they germinate at a much lower temperature. Otherwise, if you start them too late, it's a little bit too warm. So we want to start these now, which is really, really great. They will germinate fine at the temperature that we have now. Let's show you the seed mix and the tips and tricks on what we're going to do a little bit different to help the germination process. So we have everything now that we need to start our seeds. We bought ourselves a standard ecological seed mix starter. There is a little bit of perlite in here, but we might need to increase that. This is vermiculite and this is perlite. It took me quite a long time to understand what the difference is and why you should use it, because on the packet it kind of tells you that they do exactly the same thing. Perlite is volcanic rock which is heated up and steamed and then cracked, becomes like very fluffy and light. It's very porous, so it is good at water retention, but it's better at oxygen retention. So if you are having plants that need oxygen, which the roots do, this is very good to have. Vermiculite is a mineral which is much higher at water retention. This will keep your soil a lot more moist. So that's basically the two differences. We brought in this big container so that we can mix everything up and we can fill up all the trays. Unfortunately, here in Mongolia, we don't have much choice when it comes to potting soils. There are 1 or 2 varieties. This is actually a new variety for this year. They say it is pretty good. I'm just having a look at it. It looks like a little bit of peat moss that is in here, a little bit of perlite. It has obviously got a little bit of topsoil in it, and actually it looks pretty good. I don't think we're going to make any amendments to this, where we had to make a little bit of amendments with the ones we used last year. Wow, interesting. I just wanted to show you this because it is quite interesting. This is the potting mix that we used last year. That's this brand. And this is the new brand for this year. To be honest, this one is more expensive than this one, but definitely there's some differences to it. This one we used last year has got a little bit more perlite in it, plus it has definitely a lot more peat moss than this one, which I can see has got a little bit of organic matter like wood chips in it, maybe a little bit more black soil to it. But it's definitely important to know, have a look at your potting soil, and depending on what you're going to plant is depending on how to be.
But also this one's quite dried.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to just mix this up. I think this is going to be perfectly fine for planting the flowers. We are going to make some different amendments, of course, when we are going to plant vegetables or when I'm going to plant my chilies, because I want to have different aeration and different water retention for different plants. But perfect. We're going to mix this together and it's going to be just fine. What we're using is actually single cells. These are 72 cell trays. We have 10 of them. That gives us 720 individual cells. You can do 1 per cell. Some people will increase it to 3 per cells and break it up. That's probably a little bit more efficient. We want to do a calculating growing this year. We want to know exactly how much we planted. We want to know how much the germination rate is. Plus we want to be very specific about where we put these flowers. So we are taking the long route and we are going to plant 1 per cell. So it's going to be a lot of planting and a lot of potting up, but that is what we want to do this year.
Yep.
We're going to start, we're going to fill them up, we're going to label them, and then I'm going to take you to this website where I'm going to show you how we're going to track our planting for this year so that you guys can follow us along on our progress.
Yeah.
Competition.
You're cheating.
Good trick to use a tray underneath, so if you accidentally spill, it doesn't go everywhere. My finger method. My 2-finger method.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Flamey. Just putting a little bit of water at the bottom of the tray, so that we can put this in, so it can start to suck up from the bottom while we spray a little bit on the top, a little bit moist, so we can put the seed in a little bit easier, and then we're gonna do a last watering in before it's done.
Okay, just a little bit.
Okay, just a little bit.
And that's it.
Gimme, gimme.
Chopsticks! It works very well to make a little hole for the seeds. So we're going to start with the 2 different types, Quella Cristal, and these are the French marigolds, the Red Cross. They're roughly around 70 seeds inside.
Wow. It's really seeds.
Tiny. Tiny seeds.
I like tiny seeds.
We can definitely see a difference between these crystal seeds and these French marigolds. These French marigolds, they have a woody part and they have a little fluffy part. We come to planting the French marigold. We want to plant them downwards with this little fluffy part on the top. So just like that. The fluffy part doesn't need to stick out too much. That's going to take about 7 to 14 days to germinate. I'm going to start with the Red Cross French Marigold. Zula and Flame are going to start on this one,
The crystal.
Crystal, and then we'll show you what we're going to do after that. So we have flowers in all the beds. We have the red gold in this tray and 3 lines here. We have this one, the autumn banquet in some of these ones here, and the crystal in some of these ones here. Last thing we're going to do, and this is one of the biggest tips that will change your germination, seeding tremendously. You just sprinkle a little bit of the vermiculite on top of the seed beds. This vermiculite is going to hold the moisture, so the seed trays are not going to dry out as fast. So you just have to mist them once a day. Plus, sometimes when you do growing, you get a bit of mold or growth on top. That's going to prevent that as well. Give it a watering in. So now we're going to label it up. This was the problem we kind of had last year when we had thousands of seeds going, but we couldn't keep track of it. We're going to label it and go to the laptop, and I'm going to show you how we're going to keep track of all our seeds.
Yeah.
I want to show you this online free website that you can use to track your seeds. It's called Seedsio.com. It is run by a guy named Sean. Some of you might have heard him as ChilliChump. He is a South African like myself who has been running a YouTube channel for many years outside of the UK doing chilies, anything from growing chilies to chili sauces to everything. He has a fantastic channel. I will link his channel in the description as well, so you can see all the growing tips, anything to do with chilies. It's absolutely fantastic. So we're going to be utilizing this year, and you will be able to track what we're growing in our community on here as well. Last year we had this book, but it was complicated to write everything down all the time, and then we actually have been looking for this book for the last 2 months. We couldn't find it, but still there's a lot of statistics and things we wanted to keep track of that we didn't. You can register, it's absolutely free. Once you have registered, you will have My Garden where you can add in plants. At the moment, here is My Garden. I haven't added any more plants, but you can add plants and you can add seed trays. I have already started 2 seed trays. This is tray 1, which is my super hots, and tray 2, which is my super hots. I can open up the tray. Then I can see I have, these are 4x5 trays, so they are 20. I can add on the seeds when I plant the seeds and when they germinate. I can also add on here when I pot up. So I can have full track of exactly my germination rate, what I'm growing, and what tray we have got back in. I'm so thankful to ChilliChump Sean for bringing this to the platform that we can use and utilize. It's going to be a great tool. So we're going to carry on, add the next tray. We can have a good record of everything that we planted.
So,
the last time we had, it was kind of to stick labels on every single row. Now all we need to do is just have one label identifying where the corner is, what tray it is, and we have everything on record.
yeah, it seems like really easy.
Yeah.
And then not confusing, like, oh, which one?
Okay, we're not going to put them under lights for 2 weeks until they start to come up. So let's get them over there so we can start the next row.
Good morning, guys. We got pretty late last night to all the ceilings for flowers.
We just cracked on, but we got everything done. This morning, we've just been trying to move things around so we have place to put them. So make a space. Really, really great. We also got everything into this app. You can also do this by your mobile phone as well. So here you can see we have all our seeds. The great thing is once we have all of this here, we can actually go across to our statistics. So we can see that we actually planted 753 seeds. It's yeah, quite a lot of seeds, but we have a lot of statistics here, which is really, really great. We can also go into each tray that we have. So as they germinate, we can click on the germination button so we can have statistics on the germination. Absolutely fantastic. Love Seedsio. Thank you so much.
So far, how many seeds we?
753.
Oof.
Let's get this packed up because Zula promised to do some baking with Flame, which is really exciting.
Wil goed t-shirten.
You're gonna do some baking today?
On your way more.
Wow.
Good. Really, really nice. Guys, thank you so much. We're going to end the video here. We would love to hear from you what you guys are planting this season. Let us know if you get to use Seedsio and what you think of it. It's going to be an extremely exciting season, and we're going to take you all the way along and show you what we're going to do this season. Thank you so much,
Thank
and
you
we
very
will see
much.
you in the next one.
See you
Bye-bye.
next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So bye-bye.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Nice biscuits, Flamey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eet een hartje. Ah.
Mmm.